Hello, and thanks for using TickBoom. A student has sent through this question, which is asking us to find x when sine x plus 60 degrees is equal to 0. And the question specifies to do this between 0 and 360 degrees within that domain. So I think there's a few ways you can tackle this, but I think a helpful way to at least think about this in the first case is to look at a chart of the sine curve, because I think from there it can help you understand what's going on when you insert the plus 60 degrees into the angle. So what I've done here is I've prepared an axis, and what I'll do to start with is I'll draw up just the basic sine curve. So if I pick this to be 1 and this to be -1, then what we know about the sine curve is that it starts when x is 0. The sine of x would be 0. When we get to 90, that's when we hit 1. When we get to 180 degrees, we hit 0 again. When we get to 270, we're down at -1. And then we get to 360, we're back at 0. And that's how we get the full cycle. And then the curve just continues to just repeat from there. But we're only concerned between 0 and 360 for this question. So if I just kind of connect these dots, what we'll see is the basic sine curve. So I'll just label that y is equal to sine of x. Now what we want to do is draw up a different curve. We want to think about y is equal to sine of x plus 60 degrees. And basically whenever you put an extra angle within the angle, when it's a positive angle, you're shifting the curve to the left, and when it's a negative angle, you're shifting it to the right. And that might seem counterintuitive, but I'll just work through it very incrementally. I'll pick a different color. But basically, one way to think about it is when sine x is equal to 90, the way this whole thing would be 90 is if x was 30. So we need to kind of come back 60 degrees, so that at 30, that's when we'd be at this point. So you kind of shift this point up at the 30 degrees. Here, when sine of x is 180, if we want this to be 180, again we're shifting back the 60 degrees, we're shifting to the left. When we're at 270, again shift back, 1, 2. When we're at 360, we shift back 1, 2. And now basically the shape of the curve will be identical, it's just that everything has been shifted back. So, I mean, I'll do my best to draw this accurately. And then it would keep going. So that's y is equal to sine of x plus 60. And the whole idea is the sine curve will always have the same shape. It's just the angle determines where things are shifting left or right. Now, from here diagrammatically, we can see the 2 points where this curve intercepts on the x-axis. So we can almost work out the answer here visually. We can see it's 30, 60, 90, 120. So I'll just write this out. We'll say sine x plus 60 degrees equals 0 when x is equal to 120 degrees and when x is equal to here, which is 270 plus 30 is 300 degrees. So that's diagrammatically how you can think about it. But even if you didn't want to draw up this diagram, if you just wanted to get straight to the algebra, a quick way would be to use basically substitution. So you could just let anything, I'll call it A, let A equal to x plus 60 degrees. So therefore we know that sine of A is equal to 0 when A is equal to the 180 and the 360, because we know sine x intercepts at 180 and 360. So now all you have to do is substitute back your A and solve for x. So therefore you can say sine of x plus 60 equals 0 when, so I'm just, wherever I see an A, I'm just going to write x plus 60. So when x plus 60 equals 180 degrees and x plus 60 degrees, I should clarify, equals 360 degrees. And from there, to solve for x, we just need to minus 60 from both sides. So we actually have to minus it, and that's why you know when you have a plus angle inserted in the angle, that's why we're shifting left. Because to solve for the x, you actually have to minus. So we get x is equal to 180 degrees minus 60 degrees, and x is equal to 360 degrees minus 60 degrees. So that's the minus. So it might seem counterintuitive that you shift left when the angle is increased, but once you kind of work through it step by step a few times, it'll hopefully become second nature. But then that just gives you the same answers we worked out before. So 180 minus 60 is 120 degrees, and 360 minus 60 is 300 degrees. So you get the same answer whether you just do it using the chart or the algebra. But I've worked through both just to kind of help. I think always when you can think about it in terms of a chart, that can help you really see a clear picture of what's going on. But at the end of the day, you could have just solved this question by going straight to the substitution. But hopefully that's helped to clarify how you can think about a question like this. And tick boom.